So, where do we begin with this? Well, you take speculative and zoology and put it together. Well, it's obviously a fictional form, but I think that the story goes back further if we want to compare it to some of the misadventures of archaeology. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can learn about, our world and how it's developed, but sometimes science makes mistakes, and Othniel Charles Marsh was one such man that made a mistake. We actually, as kids, we probably, how many of us had like a little, plastic dinosaur collection? And, maybe one of the favorites is the Brontosaurus. That was even in the Flintstones. I mean, it's like you would hear the term Brontosaurus burger and your mouth would kind of water. It's like, yeah. Fake, totally fake. I guess the others are legit, but he was, putting things together, and apparently that just didn't end up being a legit dinosaur. It makes you wonder about the fine line between speculation, real science, and just us as creative people trying to imagine the world around us and how it was made and how things evolve. And that's where we go back to speculative zoology. And it's really interesting, some of the fiction, because a lot of it takes place in a future or an alternate world where things could have evolved differently. If there was, let's say, a different atmosphere where we had more oxygen and things grew bigger, or maybe gravity is different and would shape us in how we would respond to our surroundings. And you could just imagine all the things that could spawn off from that. All the fungi and flora and fauna and different things that could take on traits as they're shaped by their surroundings. One of the things that I really enjoy, online, it's like it never gets old, is I guess I could include myself in those group of fans for All Tomorrows. It's bizarre, the things that this Turkish artist came up with. If you've seen the work of C.M. Kozman, I think he has a pseudonym, Nemo Ramjet or something ridiculous. But there's a future in which there's this alien being called the Q. No, not the Star Trek Q, I guess a different Q, but that ends up, as man's evolving and traveling into interstellar space, starts to collide with mankind and shape the destiny of man by punishing them with genetic experiments. As they're shaping and evolving into becoming an advanced civilization, they encounter this godlike being, this godlike alien being that manipulates their DNA. Like, one of the punishments was, if you can imagine, like they're called colonials, so it was basically people that were just turned into bricks. They're just like bricks of flesh and, stacked, along the road like, a cobblestone path, or made, as part of walls. And they actually had eyes and mouths, and they could kind of understand that they were, suffering and in this condition. So it's, I think the artist had had a really good sense of humor, in spite of how grotesque some of it is. But that's just to give you an example, and that's what I try to do on this show. I just try to share some of my interests and inspirations. It's like I could probably, as I try to get through, the day and like to listen to stories, I could probably always go back to H.P. Lovecraft and a lot of the cosmic horror stuff. But that's one of the ways that I kind of clear my mind at night. I like to chuckle and, share some pictures of some bizarre creature with my wife, and it's like, well, did this really exist, or did somebody just make this up in a shop or whatever? Speaking of H.P. Lovecraft, I think you'll really enjoy this song I named March of the Fish People. It's basically inspired by an H.P. Lovecraft story, The Doom That Came to Sarnath. I'm just going to kind of groove out to it, and play some drums. So yeah, go explore the world around you, and you know, it's a interesting place, and interesting where we find ourselves in the greater universe. So I hope you enjoy.